Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's on my peeps and peeps. It's us. We're here. Woohoo! Hello. Gosh. Why is it being so slow? What's going on? What the fuck? Please excuse how fucking late I am. I would have been here at about 12:30 if my fucking courier decided to actually deliver at the time that they said they would. So, for a bit of context, I'm currently waiting for a microwave and a scale and set, and also from. And your girl is had one of them arriving today. She wasn't sure which one. Turns out it's the Civ set. For some fucking reason, they've decided they need proof of delivery, which is always a hassle. Especially if it was someone who doesn't answer the door. Now, for a bit of context as well, we don't get stuff delivered to the new place. The reason being is that there's no secure place to leave the packages, at all. There isn't anywhere that we can trust put them. So when we can avoid it, we don't get stuff delivered to the house. This obviously, kind of didn't work out the other day because, unfortunately for us, the Wi-Fi company sent our Wi-Fi router to our house. I was asleep when it arrived, so I didn't answer the door, and it went to our neighbor. And I can't tell if she was. Well, to be honest, I didn't go and collect it, but from what Paul said, she wasn't too pleased about having had to have received it. So we've decided that if we can, we gotta get it delivered in post box. But that's a lot more complicated than it seems down here. The other thing is just that we've got shit coming and stuff. So we got all this stuff coming. I'm not here. No one's here at that time of day. I didn't know they needed proof of delivery, and so what they've done is they posted something in. I missed them by 10 minutes, by the way, and I had to walk back, right? So I get in, and there's one of those little we missed you cards, and they fucking circled on it, right? They fucking circled. We need proof of delivery from either you or one of your neighbors. So I've had to go around to my neighbor's place and ask if they've received it, and my neighbor's a really sweet old lady, so she was super nice about it. But it was I felt so bad, it's you don't want people getting disturbed for your shit, especially things that aren't that don't need proof of delivery, like a scale set. I'm sorry, I don't care what your product is, it's not that important. Anyway, so she hadn't received it, and I found out upon further investigation online that it's likely been returned to my local shipping depot, which there isn't one here because I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So I was like, where the fuck is this gone? Turns out it's gone to I don't even know. It's not even a related area. They're just shipping parcels out of this place. I don't know what's going on. It's a whole complicated situation. Anyway, so I have to go and collect it from there, which would be fine because you'd be like, oh yeah, Jasper, you go and collect it when you all are available and you can go and you can go after stream, right? No, the place shut 10 minutes after they were supposed to deliver it here, so it's been returned to this depot. But this, I can't go and collect it today. I have to wait till tomorrow, which is really annoying, and I'm just gonna have to hope that they don't try to resend it, because there's gonna be no one here and they're just gonna keep an. But what I don't understand is they left this delivery card with the bit circled saying that they're gonna try with one of my neighbors. Did they put which neighbor they left it with? No. Did they put any information on this card? No. And I'm like, what the frick? What is going on? So I've got to now take this card and my ID to this depot and get my delivery. And I don't even know if they're going to accept it because there's no information on this card. So not sure how well that's going to go down. So yeah. Hopefully it'll be alright. I've got the tracking number, but the tracking number's like ginormous, which I don't know if it's normal. Like, people that work in delivery services, let me know. Like, this doesn't seem like a normal amount of, like, characters to be on a delivery address, but whatever. Or delivery address, a tracking number. So that's a whole thing. Delivery is a waiting game. I know. What's making me nervous is this is for the scale and sieve set. So I've bought some sieves. I hope people know what a sieve is. I've ordered 3 gold sieves and a scale set from like online somewhere. It was like a deal, like it was good. It's by Salter. It's cool. So I've ordered that. That's not really like a problem, but they could have left it like in my delivery, like, cause I've got it ordered to my parents' house where there's a box outside. Like, they just couldn't be bothered to leave it there. But they're like, oh no, we need a signature. And it's like, cool, whatever. Why? So that's a problem. And then I've got a microwave coming tomorrow, right? To here. So I'm like, dude, how the fuck am I gonna, like, what's gonna happen? I'm like really nervous that this microwave's gonna turn up tomorrow and they're gonna be like, oh, we need proof of delivery. There's no one here. So like, and I can't, the thing is, the microwave's coming from Amazon. I don't know if this is the same everywhere else, but for some reason in our area, Amazon have such a big delivery window. They're like, oh, it could be delivered between like 10 a.m. to like 9 p.m. at night. It's like, that's way too long to just like hang around for. And it's happened in the past where I've been like really expecting a delivery, like I had to wait around for it. Had to wait for it because I was like in desperate need of it, and they didn't deliver it until like 7 p.m. at night. So I like stayed awake from work, and like I was not happy by the end of the evening. Like, and they took forever. Like, and it wasn't just me in my area having problems with them that day. But yeah, it was a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. I'm not too pleased about it. But yeah, so my microwave should be coming. I kind of need the microwave because if I don't have the microwave by next week, we're gonna have some serious problems. Because if you forgot or weren't aware, I've got a procedure happening on the 16th, so not next week, the week after. I've got a procedure happening on 16th of in which that I'm gonna really wish that I had a heating pad afterwards, and my heating pad requires the use of a microwave. So and before anyone's like, why don't you just use a hot water bowl? Guys, I don't trust a hot water bowl. Like, I don't really understand how you're supposed to fill them if not with boiling water, and everyone says don't do that because they explode. So like, you know. And I also don't have an electric one because I was supposed to get one, and then I just never got around to it because the house stuff sort of picked up. But yeah. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mina. Good morning, Mimi. I always fill mine with boiling water. Maybe don't do that because if it explodes, it'll explode boiling water everywhere. And they have a habit of exploding when they're that hot. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I really am. It's a bit of a long story. Obviously, like, if you missed it, if you're not on the Discord, I did post this morning that I hadn't left yet, and I had to be there, like, in about 5 minutes. I hadn't left the house yet. I'm on my own there at the minute, because, like, Paul's got his own shit to deal with today, and so I was there on my own, and I missed him, as in missed, like, my chance to get a lift. I missed him this morning, so it didn't work out, and I've got no one to give me a lift, so I had to walk a mile and a bit, which is fine. I'm not against walking back to the house. That's not the problem. It's just that it's a problem when you're supposed to have left like a stupid amount of time before and you didn't. So it was not a good time on my end. I'm really sorry. I did wake up and stop and have a sandwich. I'm sorry. The girl gotta eat. Guys, bread. Oh my god. I feel like such a, like, heathen because you can't really get, like, standard, like, pre-sliced loaves anymore from like bakeries and stuff in my area. You used to be able to get them really easily, and now you just can't. And everything comes in packaging. And if you didn't know, if you weren't aware, I am trying to avoid unnecessary packaging, which means I am buying very expensive bread at the minute, which I think most people's solution to that would be just to make your own. I don't have the knowledge or ability to do that as of current. I'm working on it. I would like to make some bread. I don't think I'll ever attempt sourdough, but I've been eating sourdough last week, so my bread of choice last week was a loaf of sourdough from Lidl. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was a pretty good loaf. It lasted a whole week. A bit stale by the end, and it went kind of stale kind of quick. I don't know if that's just because when we bought it, it was like kind of late in the day, or if it was a bad loaf. But yeah, it kind of sucked. But I would buy it again. But it was expensive, so realistically, whatever happens, it's expensive. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm yawning so much. I've had one get leaky once, and I was like, what the fuck is happening on my lap? Something's going on. What's happening? Oh god, ow, ow. Oh no. God, like, I am so, like, paranoid about things like that. I just wouldn't cope with it. I haven't used a hot water bottle since I woke up in the middle of the night once to what felt like my spine melted. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like, I genuinely felt like my spine had melted. And this was back when I used to still have like periods. So I was having period cramps and I had a wobble and I slept with it. And I woke up and it felt like my spine had melted. The water bottle hadn't leaked or anything, like it hadn't like spilled water anywhere. We genuinely like, as in me and my parents, we genuinely don't know what happened. It just really sucked. And I haven't used one since because I got really like anxious about it and I didn't know what was up with that. So I've used a lavender scented like heating pad ever since. And I'm probably gonna look into getting like an electric one soon, but yeah, for now, I'm just kind of still using the really old lavender one. It's sentimental. um, but yeah, so bread. I'm having a great time. I bought a. Oh, I have woken up with burns on my leg a couple times a year ago, where I assume I kept it on my leg in the same part of the hot water bowl while I was asleep. It was. Dude, there's like you can get like a permanent like damage from repeated like heat pad use. You see it mostly with people that have like endometriosis, like a condition, like chronic cramping conditions, like as in chronic like conditions that cause like intense cramping and pain, and they find that the way to soothe that is through heating pads. And what ends up happening is over time they end up with these really bad like sort of like lightning, like they look like really dark stretch marks. I don't know how to describe them other than that. You can look it up. It's kind of it's a common condition to get, and it's permanent. They don't go away. Like once you get them, they're really hard to shift. Which is like so sad because it's like, imagine just being like, I don't have endometriosis or anything, at least I don't think so. And imagine having that, and the only thing that brings you any kind of like relief is also causing you damage. It just sucks. Like, I feel so bad, and I hope that one day there is a bit more. Endometriosis is one of those things that people just don't seem to believe in, which is really horrible. It's like, why is women's pain like this? Is a thing. I've seen it so often, and I've had it myself, like where women's pain isn't believed, and it's like you realize if we're in pain, we're in pain. Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not me trying to like be sexist or anything, but men don't feel pain as much as women. Men feel pain more than women, as in our pain tolerance is going to be a lot higher than a bloke's, right? That's not sexism, that's biology, right? So our pain tolerance, like, and this is cis women I'm talking about. Cis women are like pain tolerance is a lot higher because obviously Why am I getting Discord notifications? I'm sorry if you can hear those. I shouldn't be getting Discord notifications. It should be registering that I'm in streamer mode. It's me, sorry. No, it's fine. It's not a problem, whoever it is, but I don't know why Discord hasn't gone into, like, stream mode. Give me 2 secs. Sorry, this isn't me trying to ignore you. I will read your messages in a bit. I just genuinely, like, have to, like, mute it or else it's gonna come on while I'm playing the game. But yeah, so conditions like irrational, sorry. So like it's always baffling to me that people don't believe like cis women about their pain, like, or anyone for that reason. It's like, if we're complaining of continual like pain, we're not being dramatic. It really hurts, because if you're talking to like a cis man about this, they're like, oh, that's not like, you're being dramatic. Like, well, all right, you go through it then. It's like, it's gonna hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. Like, if I'm in this much pain and I'm noticing it, then you will notice it a lot more than I would. So, like, it's just the irony of the situation. This isn't me trying to be, like, sexist or anything. This is, like, just how it is. I love watching men try period pain simulators. Yeah, it's always really entertaining. It's like, if you want a good example, I think people think they're fake is the problem. And it's like, yeah, it's just hard to explain, like, what that sensation is like. For me personally, I don't think my pain tolerance is at all high. And I'm a cis woman. It's like, it's genuinely like crazy to me how like low my pain tolerance is. A lot of people, I had someone say to me actually the other day, and this isn't the first time I've got this comment, where people are like, I got a comment the other day from someone I work with saying that they don't think I'm autistic because my pain tolerance is high, and I was like, I'm sorry. And they're like, well, it's just that like pain, like, you get a lot of like piercings and like you seem to be fine with that. It's like voluntary pain is a lot like easier to deal with than involuntary pain. It's like, if I'm having like an infection or something, or if I'm like in like cramps, like I'm gonna be upset, like really upset. Like, it will be the end of the fucking world, you know? Nothing will satisfy me at that point, right? But if I'm getting like a needle shoved in me, no big deal, because I'm there doing it. I know it's gonna hurt going into it. Well, I don't know. Anyway. So bread. Yeah, so bread. So I bought a white bloomer loaf the other day, and it's great. I bought it from M&S. It was kind of expensive, but it's great. I tried it this morning. Genuinely 10 out of 10 bread. I would probably buy it again, except it was like £2.30. So I think that's probably a... That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you consider it's just a very, like, it's probably about half the size of a regular loaf of bread. So it's a pretty expensive bread. It's a pretty luxury bread, very good quality, and I'm honestly, like, not too upset about it, but expense. So probably a 9 out of 10. Would buy again, but for the price, I don't know. I'm curious to see if I can get the same style of loaf at Lidl and see how that compares. I'll let you know. I'm on a bit of a journey at the minute with trying to like find things that I like, because I didn't realize how much I missed bread until I moved. I haven't had like a fresh like loaf of bread or like a sandwich or anything like that. I haven't had one of those in God knows how long, because unfortunately in my house what ends up happening is the only person who buys any, like, this is at home, right? This is where my parents live. The only person that buys any bread here is my dad, and he'll buy a seeded brown whole wheat loaf, which is, I'm sorry, I don't care what your opinion is, but that is the single-handedly worst type of bread in the world. Is like, not only has it got seeds on it, which is bad enough, I don't want like mixed textures in my bread, right? They taste like burnt. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't want to taste like, it's just like very gritty cardboard. I don't know how to describe it. And the worst part is he doesn't eat the whole loaf. He'll buy this entire loaf. And I think he thought for a long time that other people in the house would be eating it. And none of us liked it. So it was genuinely like he would just buy it for himself continuously, get about halfway down the loaf, and it would mold pretty much instantaneously because they kept it in the bag as well. It's a whole thing. So like I haven't had like a decent like loaf of bread in like a long time. Another problem was that whenever I bought my own like loaf of bread for home, I was like buying like because I used to buy like a Danish white loaf, right? I used to buy a Danish white loaf, or I'd buy a tiger bread, right? If I could get my hands on it, I'd buy it, right? I'd bring it home, and the next day it was gone. I wish I was even slightly exaggerating. Like the whole thing would be gone. Who ate it? My dad. My dad, who couldn't like finish his own fucking loaf of bread. This genuinely, it was such a piss take for like so many years. I just stopped buying it after a while because I never got to enjoy it more than like one maybe like slice of bread. I come back the next day and the whole thing was gone. Like, why is this? And it's like bread is like one of the safe foods of mine. Like, it's one of the foods that I can pretty much rely on eating. And I mean, my issue as well is that I don't want to waste too much bread. Like when I was a kid, when we used to actually get like bread that was actually somewhat enjoyable, my mom would always get a half and half loaf to make our sandwiches, lunches, right? This was the thing. I did have school lunches for a while, but then when I got into adulthood, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's like I would not eat them. I don't really want to go into detail more than that. I think if you know, you know, but basically like I got called out for not spending money. um but yeah, so I used to have to go with like school lunches like packed by my mum, which was a problem because what would end up happening was that because they left the loaves in the plastic bags that the bread would come in, we wouldn't take it out or anything. We didn't have a bread bin, that was non-existent in the house. We didn't have room for it. So this loaf of bread could oftentimes have to last 2 weeks. Oh. The amount of times I went to school with moldy bread. I used to think that we were a really poor family because I went to school a lot with moldy food. Food would go very moldy in this house very quickly. So I just always thought that we didn't have the money to afford like decent loaves. And I've never really got an answer about this because my parents said like we always managed, but we're not poor. I don't know, like they could have afforded like a 50p loaf of bread, you know? I'm sorry. It was a whole thing. Don't also advice I'd give, don't like do what my parents did, which was for many years they always used to be like, oh, a loaf of bread is fine. If it's got mold on it, you just cut it off and then you just eat what's not like infected. That's not how bread works. If your bread has gone moldy, you can't just cut it off. It like infects the whole loaf very quickly. It's a whole thing. There is a science to it. Don't eat it because what often happened was that my mum would notice that the bread was moldy, cut off the corners that were moldy and send me to school with it. By the time I got around to eating it, it had remolded itself. It's like a problem. It was really embarrassing as well. Like I was already like bullied to shit at school, right? I didn't need the self-esteem, like the self-esteem destroyal that was going to school and then opening my packed lunch to find it was covered in mold. Like I didn't need that on my plate as well. Like it's like I didn't. Oh, I got to go do some plumbing. Oh, okay. Okay, Mimi's becoming Mario over here. I might be back. If not, have a good stream. Thank you, Mimi. I hope to see you soon. I hope you have a good day and good luck with the plumbing. What was I saying? Yeah, so I just like I already like didn't eat lunch at school. Like I didn't eat school lunches. So like going to school and then my entire lunchbox was just moldy was just like adding to the the plate of like me not eating food properly. Can't remember what I was thinking then. What are we talking about? I don't remember. Right. I'm gonna take a break real quick and then I'm gonna be right back and we'll jump straight into Stardew, okay? I won't be very long. Okay, bye! Alright, I'm back. Okay. In Stardew Valley. But yeah. Moving house has been a journey. I'm exhausted. The PC hasn't been moved yet. I'm getting there with that one. I plan to... I don't think I'm going to get round to it today. I'm going to prep it for moving today when the stream's over, obviously. But I'm going to prep the game... Oh, God. Game capture. Ugh. I'm going to prep the computer to move today. So that I can come and collect it maybe tomorrow. With any luck. Shall see, we shall see. Hey, Wacker. Hey, Wacker. I love that. Hello, Emperor Cable. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dude, I found out about an owl the other day. It's an unfortunately extinct owl now, but there was an owl a while ago that was called the Laughing Jackass, and I've never felt so deeply connected to a creature before. Okay. So, I'm not sure how far we're gonna get with this game today. I would like to try and do more than 2 days if at all possible, because it really does my nut in when I do, like, not very often. Do not like more than 2 days. Hey Jasper, thank you for helping me clean up around the valley. The waters are looking much cleaner. I think everyone will appreciate it. I know I will. The way of saying thanks, I wanted to teach you how to grow your own fiber. I hope it's useful. Linus. Ooh. I did a bad today. Oh, you and me both. What did you do today? What's so bad about what you did today? Why am I concerned? I took some shit that a friend gave me and I was rolling all day. Oh no. Oh dear. That's not good. Why would you do that to yourself? Bruh, I hope you're feeling better. Oh. Because I thought it was a gummies to help me relax. Well, yeah, I imagine it did help you relax. Just not quite in the way you anticipated. To be honest, I couldn't give any advice or any knowledge on that because I don't live in a country where that's legal, so... So I guess my question is, what was it like? Not psychedelics. Yeah, I imagine not, but... It was like CBD oil. Because I had like a sweet that was like that. I don't know what happened to it. I don't think I ended up eating it. I think I ended up chucking it, but... I used to take CBD oil for anxiety, but this was back before I was on like sertraline. I used to do me good. It was disgusting though, and occasionally, like sometimes it would be fine, and you'd be like, "Yeah, I feel relaxed." Sometimes you'd take it, and you'd be like, "Oh, I don't feel any better," and then sometimes you'd take it, and you're like bouncing off the walls for the rest of the day, and it's like, "What on earth is going on?" Oh wait, how long do these take to? Oh god. I don't think I really thought this out. Well, hopefully they whoops. I hope they bloom. Oh god. I think it'll be fine. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. It's the 22nd today. The month ends on the 28th, right? The 28th day? I don't know. But minus 10 out of 100 hated it, bruh. Well, hopefully you feel a bit better later then. I ain't going back, and yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Bears, good for you. But yeah, I'm kind of completely at a loss, aren't I? Because I can't do anything until we find the truffle. I'm not any closer to doing that. I wonder how our greenhouse is. Ooh. I wasn't anything like I ran outside and went crazy, more seeing shit and talking nonsense. Bruh. I mean, I don't think I've talked about the fact that I've taken psychedelics before. It was... So I have taken... mushroom. I don't know if I should talk about this on stream. I took mushrooms a couple of times. It's I've never purchased drugs. Well, like obviously, but I've never like gone out and like sought out illegal substances. It's more that I was provided with them at occasions where they might be found, like festivals and stuff. I was given mushrooms at 2 different festivals a couple of years ago, and it was genuinely like the weirdest thing, they take forever to get into your system, and then it's such a slow like burn into your system that by the time it's in there, by the time it hits you, it like it's just kind of there, you know? I don't know how to describe it other than that. So for me, I've like the mushroom, like when I don't know where when I'm talking about this. So I like with the mushrooms, I think the last time I remember taking it, I just remember like looking up and being like, wow, the lights are really like crazy. But I didn't really feel anything like extraordinary. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like not that great. Like in all honesty, guys, if you're ever considering it, for one, I'm gonna stand here and say don't do drugs, kids, obviously. But like on the other side, I'm like, honestly, it's not all that. In all honesty, like as someone who has taken some drugs in her life, they're not really worth what they're like hyped up to be. I'm gonna be honest, they're not that impressive. I'm just gonna stand here and say it. Like I'm gonna like de-influence you on this one. Like it's like it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not like it might be bad. That's another thing. Like I don't advise anyone to take drugs because it might not be like the best thing for you, and it's completely dependent on your psyche as is. As for example, I've got quite extreme anxiety disorder. I should have been like ridiculous like off it, but I wasn't. So there's that, but you might be. So I don't advise doing it in general. But if you're considering it, it's not worth the hype, in all honesty. Like, if you're getting like pressured into it by your friends, saying no is probably like not really gonna like this is for natural ones. I've never taken oh that's not true. Okay, I've only taken one like synthetic one before. And that was just because of who I was dating at the time. In all honesty, like synthetics, I wouldn't advise ever taking. I don't really know enough about them, and from what I've heard, they are dangerous. So don't take synthetic drugs. But things that grow, so like weed and mushrooms, like those are the only two I've ever experienced. So they're the only ones I really like talk about my experience with. They're not they're not worth anything. Like weed's alright. Like I don't think anyone is ever gonna say to you like weed's not addictive and it's not like it's not harmful in the sense of like nicotine. Like it's not gonna give you tar buildup as long as you don't take hash. I don't recommend hash, but like it's not gonna give you like you're not gonna get addicted to it, but you are gonna get addicted to the feeling of it. So just keep that in mind. Mushrooms, on the other hand, are like it's just not high. It's just not. It's just hyped up. Like parties, like just don't do them. If it's natural, it's probably safe. Man-made is never safe. Yeah, don't take man-made stuff. The reason I, for one, would really advise you never take man-made stuff is because it's not likely to anyway. A lot of the time, the further down the drug train it gets, and this is coming from someone who did date someone. I've dated several someones who have done drugs in their life. I've dated one person who used to be in the police. I'm not gonna get into it much more than that, but he was he was explaining to me like a long time ago that a lot of the time the further down like the manufacturing, once it starts passing hands for selling, like people starts like handing it off to other people to sell on behalf of them. Um, it's where the saying like "don't smoke your own supply" comes from. It's like you're not gonna make any money of it, but like some people buy it just to smoke it, some or take it in whatever format. Some people buy it to sell it. So once you buy it to sell it, the best way to promote your product to get the most out of your product is to cut it. And cutting it involves mixing things like cocaine with stuff that looks very similar but probably isn't the safest to ingest. That's just an example I'm using, but it's just like you can get all sorts You can get concrete powder, you can get flour, you can get talcum, which is all stuff that if you ingest like through your nasal passage, that's end game. Like it's potentially end game for you. So just don't. In general, I don't recommend it, but I very much, especially, don't recommend buying synthetic drugs. Opioids, I also don't advise. I don't know enough about opioids, and not really something I've ever come across. It's basically just like if it's not legal in if it's legal in some Western countries, it might be alright, but if it's not legal in most Western countries, if it's not, and by that I mean like weed is legal in many Western countries. It's not legal in the UK, and it probably won't be for a long time since Labour have gotten into power. This isn't me getting political, but I'm just talking about this. But since Labour's got into power, they've been cutting massively down on the smoking habits of the UK. Started with the vape ban, which we know kind of it was the turning point for me, and it also they're looking at cutting like the ability to smoke in public. Like they're looking at all sorts, so it's just a case of like it's just not gonna get very far. So realistically, weed is not like at the top of their priority list right now. So it's like a whole thing at the minute, but it's like it's probably alright. Like if you live in a country where it's legal, get it from like somewhere that's reputable. Like somewhere that's like licensed to sell it. Don't get it off people on the street. You don't know what's in it. That's the problem I have with the drug market. It's like the fact that they keep weed illegal, like genuinely like the worst thing they could do, because if they legalize it, they can tax it, and if they tax it, they can moderate it. You know, it's like why is it legal? There's literally no point. It's not bad. It's not that bad, and it's just like why? It's like you could quite easily like make money off it. I don't get it. I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that um it keeps border force in a lot of like taxing and stuff. It's a whole. I don't get it. I did research on it a long time ago. I don't care enough to talk about it. I just don't think I'm really the right person to talk about this. But in my experience, it's like if you're like if it's not really like got detrimental issues with your health, if it's legal, then why is it illegal? You know, I don't get it. Like we've seen a lot of positivity with like weed being legalized in places, and I don't get why it's like still illegal in the UK, because it's like it's not addictive substance. It's not like it's not really gonna do the economy any bad by selling it and moderating it. It will probably provide a lot of people jobs, especially people in the drug industry as is. It would probably get them off the streets. It's like, why is this looked at such a bad thing? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. If someone more informed wants to tell me, I probably won't listen, but you're more than welcome to message me. I'll probably read it at some point. But yeah, no, in the UK, the most you can get is CBD oil. That was only kind of introduced into the market like a couple years back. I want to say a couple years, but it was probably more like 10. It's only introduced somewhat recently, and it's only just sort of become readily available in most places now, like the last couple years. So there's that if you want to look at that, but that's the closest we get to something like that in the UK. Like, but it's why people turn to like street market like stuff, and it's like, why? What's the point? Like, we could tax it and make money. Why are we not taxing it and making money? I don't understand. But yeah. Yeah, eat snack packs instead. It's better for you. What snack packs? If it's natural, probably safe. Man-made is never safe. So yeah, like, I mean, man-made, like, if we like manufactured like marijuana, probably be fine. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Why do I need beetroots? I remember I needed beetroots for something. At least 10 beets inside Mayor Lewis's fridge. Okay. I have 10 beets. Probably the biggest waste of beetroots, but never mind. We've got nothing else to do. Sorry for like the really loud like ASMR me drinking. Drinking water, by the way. Ooh, baby, do you know that word? Good job, kid. Your final task, give the sand dragon his last meal. What? Cool, I don't want that. I really don't want that. Give the sand dragon his. Who's the sand dragon? Is it like a monster at the bottom of the cave? Sand dragon. And his final meal. Maybe it's a statue in like. I had a nice day. It's refreshing to spend some time alone now and then. And you have a good day, huh? Better for seeing you, my love. You don't want to talk to me? What's going on? Okay, I'm going to bed. Because I got nothing else to do. I'm so curious about this sand dragon now. I'm gonna look it up because there's no way I'm gonna work that out. Because I'm gonna take it way too literally. Oh, I also want to talk about the fact that I got. You guys remember I was like on this journey about buying stainless steel frying pans and using them? Oh man, I am not doing well with this learning curve. Turns out that you can't use olive oil in them, like, because it's got too high, like, too low of a smoke point, and obviously for using stainless steel frying pans, you have to put them, like, beyond the surface of the sun, and then you have to put in an oil that's got a high smoke point, or else your kitchen fills with smoke, which I have learnt the hard way several times now. So you have to like get a high smoke point oil, which I thought olive oil was, and it turns out it's not. So I've got to now look into getting a different oil. It's a whole thing. I ruined 2 frying pans. They were very expensive frying pans. Right. Give the sand dragon his last meal. Yeah, I was right. It was the sand dragon in the desert. A solar essence. Solar essence. Oh, it's one of those gold things, isn't it? Or one of the black ones. I don't know. Off to the desert. Yeah. Okay. I have to go into the clinic today. Have a nice day, okay? I'm gonna go and probably get myself killed. Would you rather only listen to 60s most popular music or 2000s most popular music? 2000s, sorry. It's like, it's genuinely like at my workplace right now, I'm constantly having to listen to like really old fashioned like early 90s like music, and I genuinely feel like I'm living in a torture chamber because I go in and I listen to the exact same music every single fucking day. I wish I was exaggerating, it's so bad. But occasionally we get lucky with like like some early 2000s music, and that's always a banger. Mostly because it's the music I grew up with as a child. Despite the fact that obviously you guys know that I'm very much like more into the like alternative music. But yeah, I like 2000s. That would have been my jam growing up. It would have been what was on the radio when I was getting ready for school. So yeah, probably the 2000s. I had to pick. The music in Stardew is so depressing sometimes. Am I the only one that thinks that? It's almost like romantic depression. Okay, off to the desert. Or do you think I can do it for free? Thought I had a totem pole that would get me there, but never mind. Oh my god, I forget those in there. I literally put those there to jump scare myself, and I'm constantly doing it. Please return when a bus driver is present. Where is she? I should. There we go. Okay. So how do we get up there? Or is there another one? Whoa. Oh, that's how. Okay. Oh! You place the essence in the dragon's maw. Only then do you notice a note hidden in the eye socket. You've proven yourself, kid. Check out the pile of lumber next to your house, Mr. QI. Okay. Fun. Hmm. Still really want that bed. 30 things. Right. Pile of lumber next. Whoa! Under a piece of wood, you found a club card, and you're not sure what it's for, but it seems important. It's been added to your wallet. Fun. I wonder if he's gonna give me any kind of information about that, or if I'm gonna look it up again. Wonder. I should be able to stream on Thursday, by the way. I've got to get the PC like to the house next couple of days, and that's fine. But I've also got to get what do you call it? I've got to buy a PC desk chair. Because the one I'm sitting on isn't mine, and also it sucks. So I'm gonna get my own, and Jesus Christ, are those things expensive? But that's fine. I'm quite happy to do that. So I'm gonna be doing that kind of soon, and then I'll have my desk all built and stuff. But in the so I should stream on Thursday. I hope. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, that's Mimi's, man. Right there. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Fun, that's one job out. Oh shit, it's our resident waffle singer. It is indeed. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you, resident. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey there, I'm looking for a bigger wad of bug guts. The juicier the better, at least that's what the crab seems like. 100. Number of bats in the local caves have made mining dangerous for other people, not me. It's good money for anyone willing to give them. I don't know which one of these is going to be easier to achieve. God. I don't think either of those are really achievable, are they? You think? Not within 6 days. Hmm. What level has the most bugs, I guess? So you reading and I saw your eyes closing at different times, which such a no-brain looking over. Yeah, sorry. I'm doing like I'm looking down at my phone. Okay, 15 to 25. We should be okay to do. Let's do that. We got time. We got time. I got time. Oh, is he naked? What is going on? He is naked. Ah, that feels good. Hey yo. Oh my god. Hey yo. The water's never been cleaner. Oh wait, yeah, because we've cleaned up. Oh my god, this is my fault. Bruh. And the same goes for me. Okay. Good for you, man. Just why are you looking at a naked hobo? Listen, I don't know. It's because I cleaned up the like area. Still up there. No, okay. Well, I'm glad I managed to do something for him. Good lord. Right, let's go to 15 to 25, they said on. Ooh. Why are they turning? Hmm. Listen, okay, we don't judge. Don't judge. What I do on my free time? What the fuck is that? Where am I? I don't remember this level. Whoa. Why do I feel like I'm in the wrong area? Why am I also not able to hit a fucking rock? Ah! I should go home. Welcome to the bone zone. Good lord. Day 24. We've got Winterfest kind of soon, don't we? Tomorrow. Oh. I'm going to listen to jazz music and finalize my medical reports today. What do you have planned? Kissing you and probably dying. Hey Jasper, tomorrow is the Feast of the Winter Star. Did you get a gift for your secret friend Harvey? The feast starts at 9 AM in the town square. See you then. Hello. We got a what? A twincest? I'm sorry? A what? Oh god, I've got no hay. So off to the shops we go. Oh. Never mind. Never fucking mind. Never fucking mind. Come on, lady. I got shit to do. Say redeem drink Debbie. Thank you, Rat Satan. I will drink to that. I gotta say, you sound more energetic than normal. I think because I've slept. It's a Monday. I'm usually only just woken up when we stream normally, but I guess because it's the middle of the day, I've had time to like have my caffeine and eat before coming on, so I guess I got that going for me. Which is good, right? To be honest, I don't feel any more energetic than I usually do. What is that? Whoa. Whoa. Vampiric. Problem is, it's not any faster though, is it? We'll keep it. Da 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 da. A dark sword? A sword for any emo? Yes. Alright. Off we go to get some hay for my animals. We also gotta get some we also gotta crack open these troves. I've got cramps. Oh. Only the best for my creatures. Not like they don't like pay for it or anything. I bought my first ever like eggs the other day. Like I bought like eggs for my household, which is great because like it's just gonna be me eating them, and I'm too scared to use a frying pan at the minute, which means that I've got eggs for no reason, but I gotta eat them soon. The problem is, though, oh, this is a funny story. So the problem is with buying these eggs, I bought them from my local refillery. That's just where I chose to get them this time. I usually would, like, maybe see if there's any, like, on the way to places, because in Cornwall, you pass about 2 or 3, like, free-range eggs, like, trust box stops. So I might see about getting some, like, backyard eggs, like, at some point. And whoever's, like, produced these eggs, I feel a bit bad for these hens, and I probably won't buy these again, because the eggs very clearly aren't, like, the chickens that these come from are very clearly not getting enough calcium, because the eggs were incredibly weak, because I went to pick one up out of the holder and it was kind of stuck in there, and I didn't like do much, but I wiggled it slightly and the entire thing like collapsed in the shop. Was not my finest moment, because it was one of those you break it you buy it situations where I was like, I'm so sorry to the like shopkeeper, who I'm like getting kind of buddy with, because obviously I go there quite a lot and she's super nice, but like I literally felt so bad. And she was like, it's fine, it's literally not the first time it's happened today. And it's like, at that point it's like, it's the eggs then, it's they're not getting enough calcium, which sucks. Yeah, Jasper gonna eat the eggies. Yeah, I'm like, this is another thing why I couldn't be vegan, because I do like live off eggs a lot of the time, but you know. Alright, let's see what we can. Okay. Whoa, 2 things that I've already got. Oh. Great, thanks. Thanks. Oh, well. Alright, we'll go back home and then we'll make our way up to them. We're so close to being done, though. Because, like, we've got these. Like, this is the Feast of the Winter Star, and then we've got, like, 3 more days, and then it's spring. And then we will finally get our own truffle, because the traveling cart lady, has been nothing but unhelpful. Maybe that was the point. Maybe the person thought, well, I can't make any quality eggs, so I might as well make them bad. So what? So that they'll crack easily and people have to buy them when they touch them. I don't think it's quite that. I think, to be honest, the eggs actually come from, like, someone she knows. It might just be, like, the time of year they're producing them. They might just not realize that you're supposed to refeed them some of the eggs. It could be a lot of reasons. I'm not here to judge. It might just be a bad batch of eggs. Who knows? But the, I mean, I don't think she did charge me for them, is the truth of it, because I didn't drop them on the floor. I literally tried to get them out of the container, and I didn't even get them out of the container. The thing literally cracked in the container. And it, like she said, it wasn't the first time it happened, so I don't think she did charge me for them, even though I tried to insist that she would. But yeah, so I got 6 eggs. It was good. It was good times. I'm not sure what I'll do with them because I do kind of want to make, like, I did want to make cookies, but the problem is that part of that involved me getting my scales today, and that didn't happen, as we know. So I might see if I can do that later. But we'll see. I'm gonna sell these because I don't have any use for them. And I won't lie, you look like a critter who would crawl up a tree and devour eggs. I'm not really like that sort of like creature, to be honest. Like, I'm very much a meat eater in the sense because I have like fangs for meat eating. But I'm not like nightmare. Well, I am nightmare fuel. My true form is nightmare fuel. But like, in terms of like, in terms of what I eat, I'm not gonna just go and like, birds are my friend. I am a fellow feathered like brethren. However, chickens just produce eggs on the fly, so it's like not so bad. I am trying to be more plant-based at the minute as well. That's... I don't really know if I'm feeling better for it or worse. I'm not, like... I don't know. I had tofu for the first time the other day. It was interesting. I'm not sure if I would do it again. No, I would do it. I would eat tofu again. I'm just, like, trying to work out if, I'm not sure if I would, Monster Slayer goal. Oh. I'm not sure if I would cook them the way that I tried to the other day. Again, in which I did like a peanut butter with teriyaki sauce and soy sauce, batter with like breadcrumbs and stuff. It didn't cook well. I'm not really sure what I did wrong. I guess my main like thing was that I wasn't following a recipe, so that probably didn't help. But if anyone's got any like tofu recipes that they really advise upon, I'm not against like looking into it. I can't guarantee that I'll make it, but I'll definitely like give it a looky if anyone's a tofu eater. Ideally if it's fried, but ideally a recipe in which I can put it in an air fryer, because right now like pan frying things is not a fun thing to be trying to do. But I'm getting there. I will get there eventually. So if it is just a pan fry thing, like, by all means. Yeah, so anyone got any tofu recipes, hit me up. You can do it either in the sustenance server, I don't mind. Ah! Pretty cool. I'm part bird, birds are my friends, chickens, however. No. I like... chickens. I've decided as well this last week that I would like to one day, I aspire to one day have backyard chickens. I would love to have backyard chickens. They are so cute. But what I am trying to do at the minute is cut down on my meat consumption, mainly from an avian perspective. I would like to cut down on my chicken consumption because, like, for the last year, I've pretty much had chicken at, like, some points, like, 2 to 3 times a week, which looking back on it, is excessive to me. I think that's kind of normal. It's not really, like, bad. I need protein is the problem. I'm quite in desperate need for protein. My job requires me to have a lot of protein. So I'm trying to substitute it with things like tofu, which I know is quite protein dense. So that's where I'm at with that. But I am looking into it. I'm mainly eating corn stuff at the minute though, corn brand. But I've also noticed that there's like been an uproar in like vegan/vegetarian substitutes. But I kind of was thinking about it the other day. I don't think I'll ever be vegan, but I might be able to do vegetarianism for a while. I've done it before. I made myself really unwell doing it before. That wasn't anything to do with the like vegetarian diet. That was just due to when I was doing it and the circumstances I was in while doing it. And unfortunately it was not my smartest it was not my smartest move, was to try and be a vegetarian on a cycling trip, which was probably the most like physically intensive thing I ever did in my life. And then I decided that was the week in which I was going to give up basically eating anything other than bread and wine, which was what I lived off. So it was not my smartest move. My vegetarian experience was literally me being like my vegetarian experience was me being a French person. I lived off pasta, bread, like baguette bread, and wine, cheap French wine, because where was I? I was in France, in the middle of nowhere in France. I was in the middle of some cornfields in Brittany. Like, there was pretty much nothing for miles around me. And I had no access to a fridge or anything, so we literally had to be vegetarian, essentially, because we couldn't store anything that needed to stay cold. So things like meat was a no-go, which worked out because most people on this trip were in some way vegetarian. So it, like, made sense for us to not eat meat during that time. And it was good. And at the time, I also didn't eat any fish because I had a thing about not eating fish. But then I gave that up, basically. I gave up my no eating fish thing on this trip, and I also only managed a week and a half of being a vegetarian. But I would like to try again. I'm not against trying it again. $12:00 noon sharp, last day of the season. Check the bush above the playground. Interesting. Take a photo of that so I don't forget. Good night, everyone, and WHAT'S. Good night, Emperor Cable. I hope you have a good sleep. Oh, I never had tofu, and I never tried going full plant-based, mostly because I like meat. Simple as, laughing at myself. That's fine. Like, I'm not here to say anyone should be like a vegetarian or anything, or give up meat completely. I don't think it's a bad thing if people like maybe try and be more plant-based, and I would encourage people to try that. But it's encouragement. It's not I think you should do it because I'm doing it, because no one's perfect. Some people have more food restrictions. I am in a stage of my life right now where I'm currently able to bully myself into not eating my safe foods. So I'm like, because the truth is I'm so like overwhelmed and stressed out by moving. So like realistically, me bullying myself about what I'm putting in my mouth is not really like causing me any more damage than I'm already in right now. So that's why I'm doing it right now. But it's good. I'm actually like not too bad with it. I had corn chicken nuggets last night, as in no chicken. It was just, corn meat substitute. It was great. It was not too far off the real thing, which is always a bit scary, but like very much wasn't as dense as I'm used to, and it was a lot more powdery, but it was good. 10 out of 10 would eat again. And I do a lot of like bean burgers as well. They're quite good. And my mother offered me like bean burger recipe the other day, and I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. But yeah, I had tofu for the first time on Friday, and I would not cook it that way again. I would eat it again, but I wouldn't eat it like that again. But yeah, I also live with a meat eater now. I live with someone who will not become a vegetarian with me. So, considering the fact that most days of the week I'm cooking for both of us, so it's unlikely that meat will be something that's like eliminated from our house. But straight up milk has been eliminated from my house. I'm still having like regular like dairy. Like dairy is still in things I'm consuming, but I've given up milk, like straight milk, pretty much completely, which is great. Might not be great long term because that's how you develop conditions like oh no. That's how you develop conditions like what do you call it? Lactose intolerance. So that's something that I kind of gotta keep in mind. Right, I'm gonna leave the mine and we're gonna go. I don't have time, and I also gotta kind of in-stream soon. Yeah. Whoa. Cool. What kind of medieval ass meal substitute is that? Look, it's Father Christmas. Oh my god, this is the most starchy thing ever. Right, with that, I'm gonna end because we're going on to the Winterfest the next day, so I'll leave it at that. Because your girl, oh my god, I've not even been streaming 2 hours. We'll talk for a minute, it's alright. It's just because I gotta get a shifty on because girl is. I was late to stream and I've got like gotta pack up the PC. I gotta edit my VODs and then I gotta pack up the PC before I go. So, but what kind of medieval ass substitute ass? Yeah, it was not one of the like better trips I've ever been on. Obviously, like it was not a holiday. It was like promoted to me like a holiday, but it was literally like cycling across Brittany, living on stale bread and wine because, you know, if you're drunk enough, you don't really care about the food you're eating. So there was that. But I ended up becoming very, very sick. And I was not like, I was also quite like hormonal at the time because I was on different birth control. I was on 2 types of birth control. I was not funny. It was probably the worst time of my life. I have nightmares about that trip. And it was just the whole thing. And it made me realize I couldn't rely on my boyfriend at the time, which was fantastic. Hi Waffle, hi Maddest. Sorry you're kind of like late. We're probably going to be ending stream soon. But welcome. You're more than welcome. We're just chatting for a minute though, because I've like ended the game a bit sooner than I meant to. But yeah, so It was not. I don't recommend living off bread and wine when you're trying to cycle a lot. Never would again. Would I go on that trip again? I would probably. Would I go with the people I went with again? Probably only one of them. Yep. I'd only go with one of them, and it was the person hosting us. Everyone else is like not really someone I talk to anymore, like for obvious reasons. It's all good. I got some of your voice good enough. Well, thank you. You're more than welcome to stay for a minute because we're not going anywhere for a second. But yeah, I did water fasting though. How did that go? Because I've heard like some people say it's like a really good thing, and then some people say it's like the worst thing ever. I'm curious. Ignore me. I'm just like, not having milk is fine, I suppose. Oh, there was a bug there. Not having milk is fine, I suppose, but just don't stop dairy completely, or else you'll become lactose intolerant. Yeah, I'm not giving up dairy. It's not. Like, to be honest, in my family, lactose intolerance is quite common, so it wouldn't, like, but it's not from not eating dairy, because it's the people that consume the most dairy in my household that have ended up with lactose intolerance. So what's going on with that, I couldn't tell you. And then there's me that barely consumes it, and I'm fine, which is sad. I'd be the one person in the house that would be able to give it up the easiest. But yeah, no, I'm trying to be more plant-based. I'm trying to like sort of I mean that's just a balance issue, yeah, probably. I'm trying to like be a bit more plant-based in terms of like my meat consumption. I'm trying to cut down mainly. So most of what I've been eating recently has been meat substitutes, which, you know, I've seen vegans and vegetarians get a huge amount of slack for people, like, by people being like, why would you become a vegan or a vegetarian if you're just gonna eat stuff that's like not like is just like that, but like not that, if that makes sense. And it's just like, because they're not, it's so obvious. I don't understand why people keep asking it. It's like vegans and vegetarians aren't giving up meat because they don't enjoy the taste or texture of meat. Because if they didn't, they would just avoid those meats, you know? They're giving it up because they disagree with the farming culture around it, or mass farming. Because you get some people who go back to being meat eaters, who try and source their meat responsibly. I am not in a position where I can do that. So for me it's not really an option. But that's why I'm trying to cut down on my meat consumption. So realistically, I think last week I had one meal that was accidentally not plant-based, but that wasn't my fault. I didn't realize the carbonara sauce had meat in it. I thought it was just the sauce. But yeah, that was meat meal. And then I also had salmon, and I think I had pepperoni on a pizza at some point that week. And everything else has been, for the most part, plant-based ish. I have mayonnaise with every meal. That being said, yeah, it might be meatless, but it's still got, you know, it's not vegan, you know? And that's the point. I'm trying to be more, like, realistic. It's just not doable. I don't think that's something I should be pressured about. And to be honest, I'm like all for like vegans and vegetarians, and I don't think that I'd want to discourage people for doing that either way. It's not something I can do personally. It's not because I agree with meat consumption in any sense of the word, because if I could avoid it, I would. It's just because I have sensory issues and I really have a limited palate, and I need to kind of cut down. But if I give it up completely, like, there's a lot of layers to this, and there's stuff I haven't talked about on stream, so there's that side of it as well. But yeah. Ancestors have shit themselves for thousands of years to develop the ability to eat cheese. Through sheer stubbornness of humanity, we can enjoy it without shitting ourselves. Bless the ancestors and their stubborn nature, for with their help, we can now enjoy pizza. Yeah, but my ancestors birthed me, and I didn't ask for that. You know, like... It's like genuinely like I'm not living for my ancestors. Dude, I don't think I'll never forget one guy I dated. This is the Scottish one. I've talked about this a couple times. I don't know if I've talked about it on stream. He bullied me when we broke up about the fact that I didn't want children. Really bullied me. I mean, he would not leave me alone about it. And he said, "What's so wrong with having children? It's what our ancestors have done for many years. It's why you and I are here. Why aren't you like having children? Why aren't you following in what your ancestors did?" And I was like, "Because I'm not living for my ancestors? Are you joking?" I was like, I'm not living for my ancestors. My ancestors are probably like inbred to like hell because I come from gypsy culture, which means that likely at some point there is quite a hefty amount of inbreeding, which means that it's probably the result of why I have so many genetic issues now. I'm not inbred like in the sense of like my family lineage generationally, like everyone that's alive in my family is not related to one another other than like through that, like if that makes sense. Like we're not like related to each other. Like my aunt isn't my sister, and my mum and my my nana aren't like mother and grandmother as well. Like it's not like that. It's but it's and we're all like related in just the normal sense, you know, in the not inbred sense. But if you go past my grandmother, it's probably where the lines blur a bit. There isn't much information on it. But because of that, it's like I'm not living for my ancestors because my ancestors didn't really do the right thing, did they? But yeah, that was one of the funner conversations I had. Another one was just it was like the walking and talking literal. This guy, and I don't mind saying this because if you're watching this, why are you still obsessed with me this much amount of time later? And to be honest, guys, I know it sounds self-absorbed, but realistically, I would not be surprised if he still keeps up with me. But if you're watching this for whatever reason, mind your damn business for one, but also, I hope you stub your toe on every door frame in every room you walk into for the rest of your life. And that's the truth of it. I don't wish ill will on you. I hope that you have a happy life, but I really hope that every door you just stub your toe on. That's how I feel. Because I've literally like decided to never have children as a result of you. Like I'm never gonna even adopt children now. Like that's what you did. There's other reasons like that. Oh, sorry, I will allow that. Sorry, I didn't mean to. There's no mods in my chat right now. I mean, you can have shitty plants and shitty meat. Both can be fucked up by corpos and mass production. That's the point, is that I'm very fortunate in the fact that I live in a part of the country that I can get my meat sourced somewhat locally enough that I'm not like dealing with like things like battery farming. The problem is that involves me having to go to a butcher's, and that's not something that I'm confident enough to do, which is why I've had to start like really considering what I'm buying and putting on my plate. And part of that, the easier thing for me to do is to do plant-based eat. That's not to say I'm not still buying meat. I am still buying meat, but I'm trying to limit how much meat I'm consuming a week, you know? I'm trying to buy meat that I can stretch out, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah. But it's just how you want to like, it's how you feel is the easiest for you to manage that. If you prefer the try and find it more reasonably resourcefully, like for example, the best example I could give is just buy free range eggs. If you buy eggs, buy them free range. It's not on you to do the research about how free range they are. That shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be able to buy eggs that are labeled free range if they're not free range. It is something that happens, unfortunately, but just make sure you can, like, if you can, try and buy them from local farmers at farmers markets or local like trust boxes. Please put money in trust boxes. But if you can like source your stuff like better, it'll cut down on things like battery farming, which is the main point. Is that yes, with like, because like for example, like I don't really want to talk about it too much. Like indigenous cultures, for example, and the only reason I don't want to talk about it too much is just because I'm not educated enough on this. I don't live in countries where indigenous people are prevalent. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Like I don't know if there are indigenous cultures in the UK. Please educate me if there is. But in like places that do have more indigenous cultures, their meat consumption is a lot more reasonable and respectful. Like they thank the animal. Like it's a thing. You should protect that way of consuming meat and not be encouraging things like battery farming. I've got a whole like thing on it. I don't sit here and spell about it, but like just if you like eating meat, that's fine. It's that's up to you. That's your decision to make. Just can if you can, because no, I know that not a lot of people can afford it or anything. Just try and find it reasonably and stop responsibility, kids. And if you're another thing, if you're in the UK and you're not really sure what's a free range egg, what counts as free range and what doesn't, if it's in plastic, it's not free range. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like most cardboard containers will say free range on them somewhere. Try and find ones that say free range. But if you're buying a box and it doesn't say it, it's probably best just to avoid it. But always avoid the plastic containers. They're not free range. That's the one rule of thumb, is like if it's in a plastic box, just because it's cheap, it's not good. I would never complain about it being more humane. Yeah. I don't live for my ancestors either. I live for myself, I live for myself. That's good. My blood is cursed, have no motivation to pass it on. Me too, man, me too. Let's go. Buddies in arms here, right? We're just like, you know what? I'm good. If my ancestor line died with me, that's probably for the best. I mean, I don't know why society pressures us so much to like have children. I'm more than like, there are so many people that I know that want children or want to adopt, and I would encourage that for them. It doesn't mean that I need to, like, because I know, like, I am one of very few people that I know that don't want children. So by that logic, I shouldn't have children, because if I do, then I'm contributing to overpopulation. It's an argument. I mean, our ancestors were terrible people. We're not Warhammer Fantasy dwarfs where our ancestors were super cool and peaks of society. No, most of our ancestors were terrible people. Agreed. Jasper, I'm not inbred, I promise. I'm not directly inbred. That's what I was trying to say. Is like, I'm not directly inbred. There is no inbreeding in my direct line of heritage. However, in my like ancestral line, there's probably some inbreeding, but I don't think that's that uncommon in most people's ancestral line. You'll zoom. We have chimkins. How many? Tell me. We get our money from I don't know what the English word for it, but it's basically farmers who are not with big corpos and big farms and shit, so they have more ethical sourced meat. That's good. That's exactly what you want to go for. You put it into words. You want to source meat ethically as possible if you are limited to eating it. I know this is really hard for some people, and because it's so hard for me, this is coming from someone who can't source meat ethically. I have every like resource around me to do it, but the problem is it involves me going into a butcher. I can't cope with the visualness and the smell and the sound of butchers just due to sensory issues, so I can't go. And I know that sounds really shitty, but I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a good or a bad thing. A problem that I deal with constantly. There is just some things that I can do and some things I can't. So for me, I'm trying to just buy less meat to help contribute, which is what matters. But yeah, if you have the opportunity and you have the ability to source your meat more ethically by buying it from local farmers, which I think is what you're trying to say, but basically farmers who are not with big corpos, that would just be local farmers. Like, even if they're not like local, like small farming communities are like the best way to get like your meat like sourced locally, because regardless of when we were in France, for example, we got our milk because we did have access to a fridge, but not for our own food storage, if that makes sense. So I was collecting milk from my friend's mother, who we were staying on the land for. We collected the milk, and the milk was pasteurized before anyone freaks out. We cycled over to this farm where they had like basically free range cows. I'm telling you, these cows were so happy. They had like do you guys know there's like car scrubber things that you get in the like automated car washes? They had gotten one of those like retired ones, like wheel things, and they had the Goodwill just joined us in the Forest of Fantasy. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Forest of Fantasy. We hope you enjoy your stay here. Thank you for the follow. We went to this place and they had like one of these old like car like cleaner rotator brushes things, and they had like a little mechanism on a pedal where the cows would go up to it and press it, and it would like rotate the brush so they could brush themselves. And these cows were loving it. It was great. It was so cute. Honestly, it was like the nicest thing I think I've ever seen on a farm. But yeah, so they had that. So they would collect the milk. They obviously did still sell it to like supermarkets and stuff, but they were quite happy to sell it also to the local communities if they were willing to bring their own containers. This was before the massive eco-friendly movement, by the way, but so you could bring your own bottles to collect this milk. And it was cheaper to buy the milk from the local farmers, because I don't remember how much it was, but I knew it was cheaper than going to the shop down the road to buy. I say down the road, it was quite a way away, but it was cheaper than going down to the shop to buy the same milk. But the farmer got more money by us paying directly, if that makes sense. It was like pennies difference, or it was euro because this was France, but it was like not very much monetary difference for both parties. But because they sold the milk in bulk, they got somewhat of a discount. Like the supermarkets got somewhat of a discount on it. So they didn't make as much money from it. They still made like enough, but like not much of a profit. But by us buying the milk from them, they made more of a profit, and we got it cheaper. You know, this is another thing you need to consider when going like through like sometimes sourcing locally is cheaper. So it's worth doing. But yeah. I don't know why society pressures us to have children, because Jesus, simple as why. 10, I think. 10 chickens. Wow. Do you cuddle them? I love chickens. I would like to get my own chickens. Like, I'd like backyard chickens. Like, I love birds. Like, I'm a big bird person. So I'm going to be getting my own, like, well, I had a bird. I'm going to get another bird soon at some point, like, in the next, like, maybe year or so. It's a goal I have because I'm very lonely in the new house. But I would like a bird at some point, so I'll get a bird. But when I eventually can afford my own property, I plan, or have a property that has more of a backyard, plan to get chickens. Not just because, free eggs for the rest of the time, but also just because I like them. And it would be nice to get chickens that are gonna basically live their entire lives like in my care. Like, I'm not ever gonna sell them for meat farming, like, no judgment if that's what you do with your backyard chickens, but like for me, I'm like, I would just like chickens live and I look after them and take care of them. But yeah. Oh, it's not hard for me to source meat ethically, it's just more expensive. Yeah, and that's a lot of the problem, which sucks. The reason why I've started was because the fucking shitty corporate meat was fucking bruised and they fill it with water to make it look more plump. Gross. Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Like, they try and bulk out like what they're selling to make more profit. This is what we were talking about earlier. Like, about drugs. But like, it's always really shitty to me that it's like, yeah, it is more expensive. That's the unfortunate part. but the other thing is, you've got to keep in mind the place you're getting it from are going to get more profit and are going to be able to take better care of their animals by doing that, and it keeps battery farming like in decline. Like we're seeing, like I'm hoping that we're seeing a decline in battery farming. It's not something I've looked into, mostly because I get scared about looking stuff like that up online because they tend to give you images, and that's not something I want to see. But you know, like in the UK, for example, like we talked about it last week, there was a guy trying to introduce rabbit farming back into the UK, but they were looking to build battery farming. The reason it didn't come to pass was because people realized that he was not like the rabbits he was looking to farm were meat rabbits, but their fur was also, a profitable, like it's illegal to fur farm in the UK. So there was no point to what he was doing. That fur would have gone to waste. It was a pointless endeavor. And for a product that most people wouldn't eat anyway, rabbit meat is not, you can't buy rabbit meat in the supermarket. You can occasionally find it in local farm pubs, mostly because when pubs here source their meat and product from farmyards, or vegetables, for example, they usually are also sourcing it from places that, like, unfortunately deal with pests, and unfortunately rabbits are usually looked at as pests, so oftentimes they have to take care of these pests in that way. And it's just, why waste something, why waste it? It's not great for the environment to have killed something, and it's not great to just throw it away. So best that they just sell it on, even just for a bit of a novelty meal at a local farm pub. Like, it's something you see happen quite often here. I'm not keen on it. It really upsets me when I see it on the menu, but you know what? As an eco-conscious person, I can't argue with it, I hate it, but I can't argue with it. So it's like, well, at least it's not going to waste, kind of thing, which is horrible. I was like, that's okay, Net, you're here now. Welcome, good to see you. Net Regine drink dummy. Thank you, Net. I will drink to that. But yeah, like, so meat farming is, rabbit meat is not something that you can get very commonly here. It's also not, it's not popular. Like, I don't think many people buy it. I think the people that you typically see buy it are the people that have either grown up in farming families or are like the older generation. Like my dad, for example, wouldn't be too like against eating rabbit meat, but like since having us and having rabbits, he's kind of stopped eating it. But venison is another one that you see quite commonly, and venison is something that you can buy in the supermarkets. If you don't know what venison is deer, essentially. And that's something you can get readily. But again, I think it's more of a pest control thing rather than a farmed animal. But you do see you do hear of like deer farms in the UK. It's not that uncommon. But yeah, I don't mind meat, but I mind the meat if it's suffered. Yeah, simply because there's no need for it. I don't care what some cultures, we'll just say cultures, but some Asians or others cultures over the yonder tell me that the beer adrenaline makes the taste better. Is that what they say? I don't like that. It better tastes like fucking liquid gold for it to be worth it, which I doubt it will. I don't think that's an Asian thing as such, but it is very much a just a culture thing in general. Like typically Western cultures, like we look at farming as convenience more than anything. In other cultures, they typically collect meat from like sport, I guess. So there's more of adrenaline thing. There's no adrenaline in a slaughterhouse. Like, so it's not one of those things. But like, it's sad that like any creature has suffered to provide for the plate I'm served. But I would be more inclined to eat meat from, say, an indigenous culture or something, or a culture that respects the animals, or like spiritually respects the animals, because I just think that's kinda like they're in more indigenous cultures they thank the animal when slaughtering it for providing for them, which I think is a lot nicer. But they're also farming in moderation, like they're farming for need rather than farming for profit and production, which is what like buying from the supermarket does. It's a whole thing, like it's a whole rabbit hole. I encourage people to like look into it. Obviously be very careful if you're like me and really struggle with sensitive stuff like that. Be really careful, because PETA have a habit of promoting things without giving you any trigger warnings, and I hate PETA because of that. I'm all for like what their message is, but I think that they go around it in a really bad shitty way, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But like they are kind of saying something that's right, which is that we maybe need to analyze how we're like consuming things. I don't know. I think I've just developed a bit more of a conscious about it recently now that I'm having to buy and cook my own food, you know? Anyway. True, which is why I said Asians and others, simply because I heard it from Vietnamese around here and no one else. I'm sure they are not the only ones. I think it's just forgotten villages kind of thing, you know. I think it's a lot of cultures that kind of look at animals more spiritually are probably more likely to like look at it like that. I know a lot of Asian cultures value the kind of this isn't anyone being racist, by the way. We're just having a discussion. This is an open discussion. I'm not informed enough to really give an opinion on any of this, so please don't take any of what I'm saying as opinion on other cultures' meat consumption, and no one in the chat is doing that either. We're not here to like downplay anyone's culture. It's like, if that's how your culture like consumes meat, that's up to them. We're just talking about it from a Western perspective. But I from what I understand of Asian cultures' meat consumption, like they they look at the meat quality more than anything, whereas in the UK typically don't see meat quality be a thing. I think steak is the only thing that really like gets a meat quality like star of approval here. Like everything else is just meat, and that's a horrible way to like consume like a dead animal essentially. Like, and that's why I'm like, yeah, it's not a nice thing that that's how they do it, but they're looking at the quality of things. I just hope that they're not slaughtering things and then looking at it and deciding it's not the quality they want and then discarding it. I hope it goes to some sort of use, and that's all I ask for. Exactly. We say over here, different land, different customs. That's a good way of looking at it. It's not, anyone's not trying to shame anyone. It's not. I don't think any of us can really have an opinion on what other cultures do, because realistically, we're not part of that culture. But like, as a British person, I put a lot of shame on the way that we consume animals, and I have no shame in doing that. Come for me, you know. Like, it's like, I don't think that I will never stand here and say that I'm not a hypocrite. I'm very much a hypocrite because I consume meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I have never been those things. However, that doesn't mean that I can't see what's happening and be ashamed in it, and try to make a difference in how I'm consuming and impacting the environment. For example, I'm trying to cut down on my meat consumption, or at least trying to like cut down on how often I have meat compared to how often I have more vegetable-based dinners. It's like that very much thing. I struggle a lot with food and textures and just smells. So my food has to be very specific, and that's why I'm trying to experiment more now. Well, I'm going through a bit of a phase of like life hating and stress, and like using that time where I'm not gonna really stress myself out more. If that makes sense. Like, I'm already way burned out, so like, you know, trying to bully myself into eating new things is not gonna be anything like too overwhelming. But like, that's why I'm trying to do that now, so that in future when I am feeling better, I can, you know what kind of meat substitutes that I can eat better. That being said, obviously, I know that environmentally soy isn't any better than like buying a pound of beef. It's just that, like, you know, I'd rather kind of hurt the environment by consuming soy because at least something didn't die for me to be able to consume it, you know? But that's not to say that I wouldn't eat something dead. It's like, it's just one of those things. It's why I don't understand people like slamming on eating roadkill. I could personally never do it, but like, I really get upset when people are like, ugh, people eat roadkill? That's so gross. Don't knock it until you try it. I have never tried it. I never will try it. But like, I just think that at least it's not going to waste, you know? Because what upsets me is people being like, yeah, but some other animal will eat it. Not if it's on the side of the road, they won't. And if they try, what do you think's gonna happen? You know, it's gonna be like 2 birds, 1 stone, literally. Like, it's not, I don't think eating roadkill is necessarily a bad thing, because it's not contributing to mass farming, it's already dead, it's not gonna hurt anything by eating, you know? That's another thing I really disagree with. I see some people, like, commenting when, like, vegans or vegetarians get meat at places that they've ordered vegetarian meals from, and they complain about it and ask for it to be taken back. A lot of people are like, but it's already dead, you're just wasting it by not eating it. That really upsets me. I don't really think that there's a right way to go about that. Obviously, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan and you get given meat at a restaurant, what are you supposed to do? Like, because if you give it back to the kitchen, it will be discarded. But if you like eat it, you're going against your morals. And also because not necessarily always, also don't shame people for this, because it's not a great idea for someone who's been vegan, for example, for like 5 to 10 years to eat meat suddenly. It can cause a lot of digestive damage. So just be a bit more mindful about that before you comment on people. But it's just like, I would hate to be in that position, you know? Like, I would hate to be in that position where I've been given meat when I asked for not meat. And then, like, you have to kind of decide, which side of your morals do you stand on? Like, that's a horrible position. And it's, like, why I find it so disgusting when people are reacting badly when that happens. Like, but what would you do in that situation, you know? Like, as a meat eater, I would eat it. You know, it's unfortunate that it's happened, but realistically, by not eating it, it's going to go to waste. But if I was a vegan, I would not be able to eat it, you know? Like a whole thing. But yeah, no, I just don't think that, like, people should slam on people for eating roadkill, because I think it's, like, it's just gonna get mashed into the ground, you know? It's like, it's not gonna really do any nutritional value for the concrete, so, like, it may as well just not go to waste, you know? That's a whole thing. If I was a Brit, I'd also be ashamed to live the land that gave birth to the stargated pie and jelly deals. Dude, I literally, because we've talked about the fact that I want to do more baking. I should change the category to just chatting, but we are going to end stream soon. I literally, like, I literally, I've been thinking, because obviously, like, we've talked about the fact that I want to do more baking, like, style. I want to do baking content on here. Like, eventually, now that I've moved, I would like to one day do a stream where I'm cooking something in my new kitchen. That's something I really want to do. But part of me feels, like, really shitty, because one thing I've become known for as a Cornish person is the fact that stargazy pie exists. If you don't know what that is, I'd say look it up with viewer discretion advised. If you don't like seeing dead fish on the screen, don't look it up. But, like, basically, stargazy pie is a traditional meal that used to be served around Christmas in Cornwall. And it's basically a pie with loads of fish heads sticking out of it. So it's something I've been known for now because it exists in my culture. It's not something I consume. It's not something I've ever consumed. However, I have made it before because school project. Would I do it again? No, because I wouldn't eat it and it would be a waste. And I don't think I could force anyone, like, in my family to eat it because it's horrific. So I looked into, could you make a vegan version of it? Because I was like, I feel like it'd be really funny to do a baking video, like a baking stream where I make, like, a vegan stargazy pie. Problem is, it's not gonna happen just because it's just filled with things that I won't eat. Like it's got leeks and onions in it, which is stuff that I don't eat by choice. Not for any like cultural reason, it's just because I don't like them. So it would be a waste to make something like that. So sorry guys. Maybe I can find a dessert way of making it. Maybe I can just make a that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I can make a pie sometime and we'll do it like in the style of a stargazy pie, but not like with the stuff in it, so I can actually eat it afterwards. We'll see. I'll look into it. But yeah, no, I was genuinely considering for a while making stargazy pie, and it's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I am ashamed to live here. Jellied eels is not something I know anything about though. I've literally never heard of that. That might not be a Cornish thing. People who talk like that are mostly people who have been conditioned by the internet and vegans and vegetarians themselves, that vegans and vegetarians are the most annoying thing in existence and can freely point and smirk. It's like, I think vegans have gotten a bad rep because vegans in the past used to be very obnoxiously annoying. It's very much that activism in the sense of like what we now see with the oil campaigns. Because much as I agree with what you're campaigning about, I don't think you should be destroying structures or landmarks for it. What's the point? So it's like that kind of way of activism was originally how vegans sort of became into existence. I also think the vegans get a bad rep because a lot of the vegans I know personally are not the like, oh, you eat meat, you're disgraceful. Like, there are a lot more compassionate vegans than there are uncompassionate vegans. And I just think it's sad that the internet has kind of promoted this idea that vegans and vegetarians are like crazy, like unsympathetic people that like Peter's done that. That's mostly Peter's fault. I don't think they're the only culprit, but Peter's done a lot of damage to like promoting the vegan and vegetarian community. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a pretty like well-known take. But yeah, Peter's like has a lot to answer for the shame and villainization of vegans and vegetarians like for like years, because they're the ones that, you know, would go to fashion shows and throw blood over over models wearing fur. Like, what? You have to collect that blood somehow. And oh my god, don't even get me started on their Animal Crossing campaign. That was a whole can of worms. They're just not the nicest brand. I agree massively with a lot of what they say, but I just think that the way they go about it is a bit horrendous and a bit too far. And it's that shock activism that is the reason people double down on their takes about meat eating. And this is a problem. Like, guys, if you want to don't, because there's a thing called I don't remember what it's called. There's a condition called demand avoidance, and I know about it because my dad has it. But demand avoidance basically means that the more you bring something up, the harder they'll double down on not doing it, you know? And it's by Peter trying to encourage animal protection and stuff, the way they're going about it is just going to make people double down. And that's just it's not even something that people can do willingly. Some people are going to do it willingly, and then some people will just have conditions that mean they have to. But I don't think that, I think that that's a lot of where the villainization of vegans and vegetarians come from. But again, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian. I just know a lot of vegans and vegetarians. I also would like to state that no one's pressuring me into talking about this or anything. This has just come from my current hyperfixation, which is eco-friendliness. I don't know why. It's always been something that I've been interested in. It's just something that kind of recently, with moving and having to buy things, has sort of come up more into question in my life. And so as a result, I'm constantly on the internet looking into this stuff, which isn't great because I'm avoiding doing other things as a result. But yeah, it's causing an issue. But yeah, but that's where if you're wondering, I think that's a lot of where it's come from. But it's not just Peter, obviously, but like Peter has a lot to answer for. And I, but yeah. It's not a Cornish thing, it's a London thing. Oh, okay. Vegans in the past, no, they're still doing it. People just use them so you don't hear. People just got used to them so you don't hear about it that much now. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. And also, TikTok's rise in things has meant that there's more positive stuff on there. So I think that maybe my feed's getting flooded out a bit. I look into a lot of like homesteading stuff as well. Not because I'm interested in homesteading, I just like think that it might maybe inspire me to do stuff one day. But in that community, I see a lot of like maybe not great like stuff kind of coming out. People who don't agree with things like women's rights and things like that. And it's really sad. It's like, why are we doing the vegan thing again? It's just like a whole thing. I don't think like, I just think that it's not, I just want people to understand, like, I know I keep going on about veganism and stuff, but like, don't think vegans are the like only like people. And also like what you're seeing is like, yes, there's still some crazy vegans out there, but like there are mostly nice vegans. Like it's a very like normal thing like that people do now. Like if you go, I don't know if this is also a UK thing. In the UK, we had a massive boom in veganism over here for some reason. I don't know why it happened, but like it's something that's a lot more common over here now than it is like in other places I've been to. Which is why a lot of the time you'll go to like restaurants and stuff here or fast food chains and you'll find vegan options. It's a really weird like thing that's sort of happened. It's sort of like how in kind of America their zero waste kind of the trend took off there and has still stuck around over there, whereas here it didn't really work out. It did kind of in Cornwall, but that's because that was already something that was in existence, and basically in Cornwall we lived like it was the 80s anyway. But in the UK, like something that did take off massively was veganism. So you'll find a lot of places here often offer vegan options. They're very transparent about what is suitable for vegans or not, and there are a lot of options. And it's also something that's great now as well because it means that transitioning into sort of stuff that's becoming more of a prevalent issue over here is things like gluten intolerance and celiac disease. So a lot of restaurants, especially down here, are providing gluten-free options, vegan options, vegetarian suitable options, or lactose-free options, and being very transparent about what's in them and what is suitable for these. That being said, apparently shellfish and shellfish allergy is still not something that's prevalent over here, because something a girl struggles with is like, I have a shellfish intolerance. And it always sucks because they're not very transparent about that. And the amount of times like I've started like, there's like a new fish and chip shop that opened near me. I've been to twice, and both times it's made me violently ill. And the only thing I can like put that down to is that they're probably frying the chips, which I always get chips and a savion or a sablon sausage. I don't know what it's called. It's the red sausage. I always get that. And like I have been to this place twice, and both times I've ended up with like intolerance, like stomach aches. And the only thing I can put down to that is that they're probably frying the chips that I buy in the same fryer that they're frying like the like battered like scampi, which is it scampi or like battered like prawns, which is, yeah, it's a problem. It's also something that, because I used to work at KFC, it's something that kind of happened over there as well. Whenever people would come in and ask for the vegan options, our area didn't provide it. There's a lot of KFCs in Cornwall, by the way. I'm not ashamed of like talking about this. But the only place in Cornwall at the time that offered the vegan menu down here was Callington. So our place didn't offer the vegan menu. So whenever we had people come down, because all the holiday makers come down in the summer, people would come down in the summer and ask for you know, the vegan options, and then we'd say, oh, we can't offer you the vegan, don't have like the space for it, which was purely what it was down to. We didn't have the space for a separate counter, and we didn't have enough staff to dedicate one person to it. So every time someone would come in and be like, can I get the vegan you know, sub, that we were like, no, you can't, we don't offer it. They would always ask for, can I get fries instead? And we always had to break it to them that if they're vegan, we can't give them fries either, because our fries are fried in the same fryer as like the popcorn chicken. Yeah. PETA exists only because it lives in capitalism. Simple as. Fair. Is that a Jasper right here? Hello, Crimson. Welcome. Good to see you. I remember what Mina said. Yeah, I can't suck dick if I'm vegan. So unfortunately, guys, I'm never gonna be able to be vegan. Remember, people, human meat is the only meat you can get with consent. What? Bruh. Dude. Cannibalism is really hard, apparently. Apparently it's really hard to get into, like, a state of ability to, you know, do cannibalism. Apparently it's, like, really, like, emotionally taxing, which is, like, a bit depressing when you think about it. Lots of KFCs in Cornwall, huh? Are you not scared they'll come after you? You know, points at wings. They can try. I will tear the flesh from their bones. You know? So, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to wrap it up there because I've gone way over my time. But, yeah, so, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I am not sure if anyone else is live that I could pass guys on to. Because I gotta get a real shifty on, because your girl is late as fuck, and I also gotta pack up a computer before anyone gets home. But yeah. But I also gotta upload my VODs, and I gotta schedule Thursday's vlog. Oh no, it's okay. Right. I'm just gonna end stream then. Right, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for coming in. It was good to see all of you. I'm so sorry that I was so late. It was just one of those things that kind of ended up taking its time. But I'll let you know about the update on the journey of the collecting my sieves and scales, because that was a fucking journey. Yeah, alright, what I was gonna write into the server. Oh, sorry, yeah, you could. I got someone you could raid. I would take recommendations, but it's saying we've only got like one person here. So it might be not so, like, it might not work out so great. So bye, Jasper. Good luck with everything, and try not to bust your knuckles again. Oh my god, I never talked about that. I busted my knuckles. For anyone that missed it, I talked about on the server how I busted my knuckles. It's nothing I've done to myself intentionally. I was trying to carry like a load of drawers up the stairs, and I literally thought, man, I'm gonna shove my hands into this stairwell, and these are really sharp like pillars on the stairwell, and I was like, that's gonna hurt if I do that. And then I did the first step and it didn't happen, and I was like, phew, I managed it. And then I took a second step and I did it. I was so annoyed. I was like, wow, I really asked for that. It was not my smartest moment. I was so careful, and it just happened anyway. I was so sad. That's the second time that's happened, so my knuckles are all really scraped up. But, you know, what's new? Anyway, I love you all very dearly. I will see you very soon, and I will hopefully see you on Thursday. But if not, I will hopefully see you on Friday. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye bye!